Greetings, fellow dungeon delvers, and welcome to Dorans and Dragons, where we work together to come up with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition builds for your favorite League of Legends champions. Today we're building Rakan, the Charmer. Rakan is considered by many to be one of the greatest Vestayan battle dancers. Battle dancers use their magical grace to waltz through the battlefield, effortlessly gliding from position to position, and then striking with ruthless efficiency before darting back out, in an endless back and forth of elegance and action. Most Vestayans believed that humans were a cancer upon Ionia, and needed to be curbed before they caused irreparable harm to the wild magic of the land. Rakan disagreed. He believed that humans need only see the beauty of the magic instead of just the destruction it caused. He spent years performing for humans, but during that time he only became more and more disillusioned by them. To them, he was merely an entertainer, a great and appreciated one, but not one that changed their perspectives. He bumped into another Vestayan named Xayah at a festival and his life changed forever. He tried to woo her with his usual methods, but Xayah was uninterested. After the show, he approached her and asked of their tribe. Xayah told him they had been evicted from their lands, which made Rakan furious. He let out a howl of rage, and Xayah finally saw something she could get behind. She told him she was working to bring the Vestaya back to prominence in the First Lands. Xayah had given him passion and a purpose. The two became inseparable, complementing each other's strengths and shoring up each other's weaknesses. Now they work together, his grand entrances leading the way for her razor-sharp quills on the path to restoring the Vestaya to greatness. Before we get started with the build, go ahead and like the video and hit that subscribe button so you're always notified when we release our builds. We'd like to take a minute and thank our awesome patrons over on Patreon who support us every month. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on and the feathers sharp. If you like our videos and want to support the channel, come join us over on Patreon today for just $1 to get access to our awesome Discord community where we talk League and D&D all day long. Alright, now let's get into it. Here's a quick preview of the build. For race, we're going with Autumn Eladrin. Per usual, our stats are going to be determined using the standard array. For our stat priorities, we're going to max Charisma and dump Intelligence. We do have a multi-class requirement of 13 in Charisma, Dexterity, and Wisdom. Our leveling path is going to be levels 1 through 4 in Bard, then we'll take 8 levels in Monk, before finishing off the build as a Bard. Rakan's passive, Fey Feathers, is going to be the Shield spell. Our Q, Gleaming Quill, is going to come from Radiant Sunbolt and Mass Healing Word. His W, Grand Entrance, comes from Step of the Wind and Earth Tremor. Our E, Battle Dance, will come from Step of the Wind and Mantle of Inspiration. And finally we get our ultimate, the Quickness, from Compulsion and Face Step. For race, we're going with Autumn Eladrin. That's going to start us off with a +2 to Dexterity and a +1 to Charisma. We're also going to have our Fey Ancestry to give advantage on saves against being charmed, and we're immune to magical sleep. Also, you're able to skip long resting by entering a 4-hour trance instead. Plus, our keen senses are going to give us proficiency in perception. And our final feature is going to be the early version of our ultimate called Phase Step. At 3rd level, we can teleport up to 30 feet as a bonus action, and force 2 creatures within 10 feet of where you land to make a wisdom save or be charmed for a minute. For background, we're going to lean on Rakan's flashy nature with Entertainer. Entertainers gain proficiency with acrobatics and performance and the Buy Popular Demand feature. To make it simple, you can stay in any inn or tavern for free as long as you're willing to put on a show each night. For stats, we're going for the balance Rakan has during his high-flying escapades with the standard array. Roll if you want to, just keep at least a 13 in Charisma, Dexterity, and Wisdom for multi-classing purposes. We'll start off with a 15 in Charisma for our dancing ability and the main power behind our spellcasting. Dexterity is going to be next for our quickness and to smack people with our cape. Wisdom after that for his skill in the wilds. Since Rakan often buys health items, we're going to take Constitution next. It's also going to add a little bit of assistance with maintaining concentration, which we'll need on his ult. We'll have an average strength and dump intelligence. For equipment, Rakan's basic attacks are a combination of punches and whipping his cape at targets. So to emulate the whipping of his cape, we'll use a whip. We technically won't have proficiency with it, but if you want that, you can either take a level in Fighter or take the Weapon Master feat. Alrighty, let's kick off the build with some levels in Bard. Bards have a D8 hit die and give us proficiency with light armor, simple weapons, and a few martial ones as well. We'll also pick up 3 instrument proficiencies and 3 skill proficiencies. Have fun with the instruments, but for skills we're going to take Athletics for our leaps, Intimidation for the threat of your Flash W, and Persuasion for our charming revolutionary personality. Speaking of our W, we'll pick up the knock-up portion of it from Earth Tremor, a first level spell. Earth Tremor is going to let you rock the earth within 10 feet of you, forcing a dex save on all creatures in range. If they fail, they take 1d6 bludgeoning and get knocked prone. The area is also difficult terrain if you cast it on earth or stone. Now normally we only focus on the spells necessary to the build, but since they're getting rid of all chat next patch, you should get your Vicious Mockery in there while you can. You're going to talk mad crap and force a wisdom save to see if they can out-mental you. When they inevitably fail and start flaming in chat, they'll take 1d4 psychic damage and have disadvantage on their next attack roll. The final level 1 Bard feature is Bardic Inspiration, which is a pool of d6s that you can dole out to your teammates as a bonus action for them to add to any attack, check, or save. These scale with level, and by the time we're done with the build, they'll be d10s. They also recharge on a long rest, so make sure you get your uses out of them. At second level, you'll become a jack of all trades, letting you add half your proficiency bonus to any check you make with a skill you're not proficient with. We'll also learn the Song of Rest. When your allies are spending hit die to heal themselves, you can do a soothing dance, letting them recover an additional 1d6 hit points. Level 3 bards gain expertise and choose their bardic college to specialize in. We're going to captivate our enemies and inspire our allies with the College of Glamour. Choosing this college is going to give us 2 features. Mantle of Inspiration is going to give us the Shield Honor E. As a bonus action, you can burn one of your Bardic Inspiration die to give your allies within 60 feet 5 temporary hit points, and give them the option to burn their reactions to move their full speed without provoking opportunity attacks. The other feature, Enthralling Performance, is going to be a slow burn version of our ultimate. When you perform for at least a minute, you gain the ability to choose a group of humanoids within 60 feet and force a wisdom save on them, charming them if they fail for an hour. The nice thing about this feature is that it recharges on a short rest, and the creatures who succeed on the save don't even know the charming was attempted. And we'll also get to double our proficiency bonus with 2 skills thanks to expertise. We'll go with performance and acrobatics for Rakan's battle dancing. At 4th level bard, we'll get our first ability score improvement. As always, we're going to break them all down here so you can pick and choose along the way. For bard 4, we'll pick up the mobile feat, boosting our base speed by 10 feet, letting us ignore difficult terrain while we're dashing, and blocking opportunity attacks from anyone we've tried to hit during our turn. At Monk 4, we'll learn the Warcaster feat to give us a better chance to keep our concentration during our ult. Warcaster gives advantage on concentration checks, lets us cast spells even while holding weapons, and gives us the ability to cast spells for our opportunity attacks. At Monk 8, we'll bump our Charisma 2 points, which will help with our spells and performances. At Bard 8, we'll max that score with 2 more points. And finally at Bard 12, we'll add another points to Dexterity for the extra AC and to make our Qs easier to land. And since we've hit a good jump point, we'll make the leap over to Monk to get Rakan some speed, his Q, and the movement on his W, E, and R. Monks also have a D8 hit die, and they don't give us any new proficiencies, but we do gain 2 helpful features. Unarmored Defense is going to make our AC 10 plus our Dex and Wisdom, and then Martial Arts is going to give us unarmed strikes that deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage, with the ability to make an attack with 1 as a bonus action whenever we use them during our attack. 2nd level monks crank up the speed with unarmored movement and their key. Unarmored movement is going to bump our base speed by another 10 feet. Now our key is a pool of points that we can use to power some cool abilities. The 3 we get at this level each cost a point and are used as a bonus action. Flurry of Blows is going to let us make 2 unarmed strikes whenever we take the attack action on our turn. Patient Defense is going to give us some durability by letting us take the dodge action. And finally, Step of the Wind is going to give us all the mobility we have during our W, E, and R. With it, you can take the disengage or dash actions as a bonus action, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn. Like most classes, monks choose their subclass at level 3. We're going to harness the power of the sun in the palm of our hand with the Way of the Sun Soul. This is going to give us our Q as a Radiant Sunbolt, which is a 30-foot ranged attack that deals 1d4 radiant damage, which will scale based on your monk leveling, dealing 1d6 by the end. You'll also be able to reject some incoming ADC damage with Deflect Missiles. Whenever a missile from a ranged weapon attack approaches you, you roll 1d10 and add your dex mod and monk level. You reduce the incoming damage by that number, and if it goes to 0, you can spend a key point to yeet it back. 4th level monks gain the Slow Fall ability, letting you burn your reaction to reduce any fall damage taken by 5 times your monk level. Level 5 monks gain Stunning Strike, and though Rakan doesn't actually stun people, you could definitely use this to settle down someone getting a little too rowdy, Anytime you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can spend a key point to force a con save on the creature, stunning it if it fails. We'll also get extra attack, letting us make 2 attacks per attack action now. 6th level monks upgrade their unarmed strikes to key empowered status, letting them count as magical for overcoming resistances and immunities to normal attacks and damage. As Sun Souls, we're also going to get the Searing Arc Strike ability, letting us spend 2 key points to cast Burning Hands as a bonus action whenever we take the attack action. You can also upscale this spell by spending additional key points, so don't be afraid to go all out just this one time. Oh, and our unarmored movement speed bumps up 5 more feet, giving us a total of 55 movement speed per turn. Level 7 monks pick up some defensive abilities with Evasion and Stillness of Mind. Evasion is going to let you dodge more lively, letting you take 0 damage from dex save area effects when you make said save, and only taking half damage when you fail it. Stillness of Mind is going to let you QSS yourself by spending your action to end a charm or fear effect that's afflicting you. And with that, we'll hop back over to Bard for the rest of the build. Level 5 Bards gain Font of Inspiration, giving us back our Bardic Inspiration die whenever we finish a short rest, as well as a long rest. 6th level Bards gain the Counter Charm ability, letting you create a buffer for yourself and your allies. You start dancing, and any creatures within 30 feet have advantage on saves against being charmed or frightened until the end of your next turn. And 6th level Glamour Bards gain Mantle of Majesty, letting you cast the command spell as a bonus action, becoming an Unearthly Beauty, which isn't much of an improvement for Rakan, but hey, that's what the text says. This appearance lasts for a minute, and you can cast the command spell once per turn as a bonus action as well. The best part is that any creature you've charmed automatically fails the saving throw. Level 7 Bards learn 4th level spells. We're going to pick up our ultimate with Compulsion. You're going to choose any creatures within 30 feet and force a wisdom save on them. If they fail, they have to move in a direction you choose with all of their movement on their turn. They can still take their action, but they must use all of their movement in the direction you specify. This movement does provoke opportunity attacks, so you'll want to run through them and use your bonus action to point them towards you and away from your allies. As they run away, your allies will get free shots and swings. And the final level of the build is going to be Bard 10, where we'll gain our Magical Secrets, which are just freebie spells from other classes' spell lists. We'll get our passive with the Shield spell, letting us spend our reaction to add 5 to our AC until the start of our next turn. And then we'll pick up the AoE heal of our Q with Mass Healing Word. So whenever you land a Radiant Sunbolt, you use your bonus action to cast Mass Healing Word, and heal you and your allies within range 1d4 plus your Charisma mod. We'll also pick up another bit of expertise here. We'll double our proficiency bonus with Athletics and Persuasion this time, being the other side of the Performance Acrobatics coin. Alright, now that we've completed the build, let's see how we did. First, the good. We have a staggering 55 feet of base movement speed, with a max of 165 feet if we use the dash action, and burn a key point to Step of the Wind as well. On top of all that speed is a charming personality that's going to enrapture your enemies and inspire your allies. And the final, equally wonderful piece of the pie is the healing and shielding you provide. Now the bad. We don't have proficiency with our cape, making it a bit harder to hit with later on. And also our hit points are kinda low, but we do make up for it with some awesome defensive features. So what'd you think? I've included a link to this build via D&D Beyond in the description below, as well as Amazon links to the books used in the build. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We have a few awesome rewards, and you get access to our great Discord community. We plan on churning out one League Champion build every week. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you on the Rift, or in the Forgotten Realms.